in brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light. Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry, here at the Everything Anime Podcast, talking from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and other relevant topics I'm talking about. Today's video is on how I would put the Green Lantern into the Flash. Now, this is a video I had been planning for well over 2 years, ever since before the Green Lantern got announced, the Green Lantern TV show, which is probably a great time to actually do this, but just in general, like, probably when we saw the, Crisis on Infinite Earths, how terrible that was, and just god awful. I had always, when John Diggle got the Green Lantern ring, we know that that's what it was when it fell from the sky and like he got blasted backwards and he opened it and like obviously there's green light over him. We thought he'd become the Green Lantern. Like that was an amazing teaser ending. It never would have paid off, but it was so cool. And you go into the Flash and you bring John Diggle in. He's like, "Oh, I see the universe," and I reject it. It's just so stupid. So I have my own idea of how I'd bring Green Lantern in, and I know exactly what and where, but there are some rules. So first of all, I think The Flash is the best show to put the Green Lantern in because it's more meta powers. Like Green Lantern would have an advantage and a weakness over these guys versus the Green Arrow where these are like street thug levels. Like they're not going to defeat somebody with magic. The only season I could imagine putting Green Lantern in will be season 4 of Arrow, and that season was terrible. Not only because you killed the real Black Canary, but just overall corniness in that season. Then I was like, Batwoman, no, not happening. Legends of Tomorrow, yeah, but Legends of Tomorrow is too goofy. What I'm going to do with Green Lantern and how I'm going to bring him in is going to be really cool. I think we'll see what you guys think. And I'm going to tell you where. We're going to get to all that in a second. But yeah, out of all the shows, I think The Flash just fits the best. Plus, it was the most watched. And if I want to bring the Green Lantern in, my favorite character of all time, I have to do that. So I usually do this with video games, talking about my relationship with the character and why I love them, because I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Green Lantern, you take away his ring, now he's useless." Like, he just big kick his ass now. But when I was a kid, my favorite color was green. It was always green. I don't know why. You know, something you love, something you know you love. And I always knew my favorite number was 8. I don't know, maybe because of like a snowman, but those are 2 things that are always going to be about me. My favorite color is green, and my favorite number is 8. So, and I also had like a very vivid imagination as a kid. If you don't know, I'm the author of the Shinry series and the Chronicles of Wayne and Monsterverse. I don't have the copies with me. I'm actually ordered some. I give all my copies away for free if you guys ask. But yeah, so I've been a writer for like 20 years or more. And so having that vivid imagination, I was like, what kind of superhero could match my energy? And it's the Green Lantern, because the Green Lantern's power is basically his imagination. Like they can create a construct out of anything so long as like they can imagine it. Whereas John Stewart, he's a military guy, so guns are his thing. Hal Jordan is a pilot, so planes are his thing. And I don't know much about the rest of them. I can't lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat, because it's funny. This is supposed to be a video about the Green Lantern putting him in the Flash, and I'm gonna get there, but it's just some backstory. It's funny. When I went to New York Comic Con for the first time, it wasn't in this Green Lantern suit, which I love this suit, by the way. This suit's amazing. Where is that picture with Phil Lamar? I don't see it hanging up. I have a picture with Phil Lamar, the voice of Green Lantern. Oh wait, maybe it's. I'll find it. Scratch that. I didn't print it out. I'll probably just clip it in here. This picture with Phil Lamar that I did, and when my Green Lantern was working, because the current one I have does not light up. It did, which you'll see in the picture, but yeah, it used to light up. I missed that thing. Been dropped too many times while I was traveling. If I had just finally had this apartment, it would have been fine. Anyways, point is, So I went to New York Comic Con. I only knew about the Green Lantern. I didn't even know what a construct was. I just knew he created things with his ring. So this girl comes up to me. She's a Blue Lantern. And I was like, she's like, hey, you're a Green Lantern? I was like, hey, cool. What are you? She's like, I'm a Blue Lantern. I was like, what's a Blue Lantern? She explained everything to me. Like, Blue Lanterns are like, they power the Green Lanterns. Like, they give them hope, or they are hope. And then my friend Old Fashioned Nerd taught me the rest of them, or more about it. And then I have this friend named Taylor, God, names are escaping me right now. He taught me some things about the Lantern Corps as well. So I'm not a Green Lantern aficionado. I don't know much about it. I just love the character, but that's my relationship with it. Like, I'm still learning about the Green Lantern myself, but I do love his power set and things like that. Like, it's only limited to your imagination. So I imagine if I was a Green Lantern, the things that in the Shinry series, Benchy Blast, Demon Strike, Halo Lightning, I'd be using all that kind of abilities. Like, the enemies when I know what the fuck is going on, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I got a power of imagination, bitch. I'm about to do some crazy shit. We're gonna bring out a Kirby, absorb the enemy, and then that Kirby's gonna get the powers. Okay, that's the kind of Green Lantern I would be. All right, enough of my ranting. Let's get into how I would put Green Lantern into the Flash, because we're already 6 minutes in. All right, so we already established the rules. The show is still called The Flash, so I don't want every episode focused on the Green Lantern, even though he's going to be a major character. Obviously, we're bringing him into this universe. Ultimately, so when we form the Justice League, we form Crisis on Infinite Earths, he's there. But he still has to be relegated to a side character like Cisco or Caitlin, Killer Frost, whatever, you know. He still has to be, he's going to be important, but he's not the Flash. It's still the Flash TV show. But where I'm going to make him important and why he's going to be a big deal in the season will make sense very soon. You'll probably figure it out as we're talking through the video, because it's kind of like a get ready with me / explaining how I put Green Lantern into Flash. We're going to get there. Trust me, it's all going to make sense. So, secondly, the episodes are going to be kind of spread out. I don't want every episode, like, in a sync to be about Green Lantern. Like, again, he's a side character that's being introduced into the show. So, we're going to put him in almost like every other episode, like where I would think it makes sense, up until the mid-season finale where it will all come together. So, the first thing I had to do was figure out what season could I plug the Green Lantern in that would make sense? Where would he fit perfectly? And I say it would fit perfectly going into Flashpoint. Now, there's going to be, when I say this, I already hear you in the comments. You're going to, and it's not because I'm talking about Flashpoint. It's because what I'm going to say and the cliffhanger I'm going to leave you with. Because I thought about doing this two ways, but I think the first way is better. And I know it's going to get a lot of backlash, but it's going to make sense because you're going to figure, well, okay, I'm trying to explain but not spoil, but I have to, like, give you some context. So, the mid-season finale, when Flash, season 2, when Flash runs back into the past to save his mother, I still want that to play out mostly the same. I want him to, like, chase Reverse Flash out, but don't let Reverse Flash get away. I want Barry to chase the Reverse Flash. But before he can get to him, a green meteorite smashes into the Earth between Reverse Flash and Flash. And I want them to notice it. And inside that meteorite is obviously going to be Green Lantern. Me. So, oh yeah, I'm plugging myself as this character. Make sure that's in there. Yep. I've been doing it. I'm so flawless with these contact things. So anyways, Flash saves his mom from Thawne, and outside they run into the green meteorite falling from the sky. And Reverse Flash gets away, but he's still watching what's going on. And the scene ends with Flash saying, like, who are you? Where'd you come from? And I reply, my name is Hal Jordan. Now, I hear you in the comments. You're black. Why are you saying your name is Hal Jordan? Why, you should obviously be John Stewart. And again, it's going to make sense. Trust me, it's going to make sense. I'm trying not to spoil, but I'm going to say what I would have done on Twitter. Like, you know, because I was thinking about leaving it one of two ways. Either in the season with, you know, Flash saying, who are you? And I say, my name is, and we just cut away. And then, you know, over Twitter, people are like, oh, it's John Stewart. John Stewart's brought to the Flash. But then when you bring in season 3, episode 1, we're not going to call it Flashpoint. We could, but we're not going to call it Flashpoint. I have different names for the episodes as well. But but before we get there, we could have ended it saying, like, my name is, and have people speculate, obviously, like, oh, it's John Stewart. But then when season 3 episode 1 happens, you find out like his name is Hal Jordan. People be like, what? Why the fuck would you do that? Again, it's gonna make sense. Now, the reason why I want to do that is because whenever you go on my Twitter, and I can already see the hate coming in. People are like, oh, you should be Jon Stewart. Why the hell would you call yourself Hal Jordan? This is so stupid. Flash is woke. What I'm going to say on my Twitter is, without spoiling, I'm going to be like, I feel like watching Static Shock right now. And if you know, you know. The ones that don't know will be like, what the fuck's he talking about Static Shock for? There's going to be a point to it. So just stay with me. I know it sounds like, what the fuck is he talking about? Becoming Hal Jordan now. So season 3, episode 1 is going to be called In Brightest Day. The titles with the Green Lantern focus will be titled after Green Lantern. And I know it's also Flashpoint, so it's kind of fucked up that I'm like, first episode, even though we're in Flashpoint, we're taking over as Green Lantern. Again, the whole season, I want the Flash at season 3 to be called Flashpoint. Like, all of Flash season 3 just be called Flashpoint. Like, we know it's the Flash, but it's because of what the arcing story that I want to do. That's going to make sense. So people are going to think, because in Flashpoint, Hal Jordan is black, but that's not what's going on. But that's the trick I want to get. So when episode 1 opens up, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, he like collapses, or me, I collapse like from exhaustion or whatever. Like I crashed into Earth or whatever. And this will be like, this will be like the last 3. I think it'll be the first 2 minutes episode or last 2 minutes episode, because there's 2 ways to do this. I also want in the first episode them to learn that like we have to find my lantern. Like, I got separated from it. Like Flash is like, how did you? Okay, let me go based off my notes, because I actually have a way to explain this. So, Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, I go into a coma like the entire first episode until like the last 3 minutes. Like, I landed on Earth. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I landed on Earth, and then I crashed on Earth, and then they're like, who are you? And I'm like, my name is Hal Jordan, because I don't want this reveal to happen just yet. Like, I want people to still be speculating and still be confused. So I crash on the Earth. After Flash asks my name, the opening of season 3, episode 1 is like, I'm in a coma to like the very last end of the episode. The only thing that they learn, what they're dealing with the episode is like the villain of the week. The villain of the week has like a Green Lantern or whatever. Like, they don't know what it is, but like they know like the villain of the week is after the Green Lantern. And so by the end of the episode, I wake up and like I'm like, oh yeah, that's my lantern. And they're like, what? Well, the villain of the week had this, whoever the villain of the week is. And so they're like, well, how do we know that your name is actually Hal Jordan? Like, how do we know you are who you say you are? So I press my ring up against the lantern, and it says, here. I press my ring up against the lantern, and it says, Hal Jordan, welcome back, or something like that. Like, it acknowledges that this is Hal Jordan's ring. Now, Team Flash believes me because of that. But, like, the Wells of that season is like, that seems too... He didn't say it out loud, but, like, Wells of that season makes a face. But as the episode ends, the lantern is beeping. This is why I wish my lantern was working. The lantern's just glowing. It's like... It's like it's sending off a signal. It's just beeping. But it's not explained in that episode, like, what's going on. It's just like the lantern is just like, it seems like it's sending out a beacon or something like that. And like we all left the room. The next episode will explain how Hal Jordan got there or what happened to him. Oh, not the next episode. Episode 3. Is that in? Yeah. So episode 3 is going to be called In Blackest Night. This episode is going to be Green Lantern focused, showing me as Hal Jordan losing in an off-screen fight to Sinestro. We're not going to see Sinestro. He's going to be like teased. You'll see like the back of his head. You'll see like me getting hit by like yellow constructs or something like that. Maybe yellow bullets. Before being blasted down to Earth 2, where, I interrupt the battle between Flash and Reverse Flash. Like, I just, fall. And then the Green Lantern that I had with me, it's like tossed off or whatever. And that's how the villain of the week got it. Now, I was then found by the Flash, and I explained to them like who Sinestro is. I'm like, Sinestro is my greatest enemy. He's a Green Lantern that went rogue. He turned against the ways of Oa and the Guardians, and he like has his own warped sense of justice. He doesn't believe villains can be reformed. Justice League doesn't kill people. Marvel does. Justice League, even the Joker, like Batman puts the Joker back in Arkham over and over again, even though Joker kills people relentlessly. But, so we don't kill people. So that's, like, Hal Jordan's take. He's like, oh, yeah, Sinestro, like, thinks we should kill villains. And Flash, even though at that point they were still killing their villains, he's like, oh, yeah, we also don't believe in killing our villains. You just got to go with it. So Flash said that we should go to Argus to find out what they know about this villain, Sinestro. And that's where we learned that Hal Jordan is a pilot. And this is where I'm asked to fly a plane, which I almost caused to crash because I don't know how to fly it. Once again, Wells clocks us. He's like, Hal Jordan is a pilot a veteran pilot for Argus, but he doesn't know how to fly a plane. Now the wheels are spinning in people's head. They're like, okay, this guy can't be Hal Jordan. He has to be somebody else. But who? Why would he be impersonating Hal Jordan? Why would his ring say that he's Hal Jordan? Now you're starting to kind of understand what I'm going to do. I then make an excuse like the crash when I landed must have like messed with my memory. And Argus kind of goes with it too. Flash kind of goes with it despite Wells is like, I don't know, that's kind of weird, Barry. And Barry's like, no, man, it makes sense. Like he crashed on the Earth. He got separated from his lantern. Like he just has some memory loss going on. And plus the battle with Sinestro, we still don't know who this guy is. So Barry, I'm convincing Barry to focus more on Sinestro and like less on like why I can't fly a plane, why like I have like this like weird memory going on. But Wells convinces Cisco, like, hey, we should go check out that lantern. As the episode ends, we go back to the lantern, still beeping and sending off a signal. And Wells and Cisco, upon this season, says that's curious. Cisco asks why, and Wells says it's almost like it's sending out a homing signal, like it's trying to find someone. Or no, find something. Oh, no, okay, so here's how it goes. Cisco will say, Wells will say, that's curious, and Cisco will say why. And Wells will say, like, it seems like it's trying to find something. And then Cisco can say, or someone, which gets the wheels turning in Wells' head. And once again, the viewer's head's watching, like, oh my God, this is not Hal Jordan. This, if you know who the villain of the week is that we've been hyping up, you know where we're going with this. Now, I gotta take one break real quick. I have to grab something. Season 3, Episode 6 is gonna be a lot more obvious. Because it's going to be titled, No Evil Shall Escape My Sight. This episode, Flash asks Green Lantern for help with the villain of the week. And so, Flash, while he tries to talk down to the villain and humanize him, Green Lantern Hal Jordan is just like bashing the guy. And I was trying to think of a weapon that's like the most, that would do a lot of damage, but like isn't like too... I guess since we're talking DC, I didn't want it to be too Joker related, but probably a crowbar. I want Hal Jordan, the Hal Jordan that I'm playing, to beat the villain with a crowbar. And Flash just like saying like, whoa, wait. And the villain at one point is just like, I give up, I surrender. But I'm like, no, you ain't learned yet. You ain't learned your lesson. At this point, Flash is like, hey man, like we don't do that. And Green Lantern's like, Hal Jordan's like, what? He's a villain. This is how they learn. Do you want them to go back on the streets? Like, and he'll reference Batman. He's like, you want them to be like a Joker? You want to let these criminals back on the streets? They'll never learn. They must know fear, or something like that. And then I'm calm down because I realize like I'm giving myself away too much. And then the Flash and Hal Jordan will argue about justice and how to treat their villains and whatnot. And all the while, like Sinestro, he eventually like realizes like he has to like, okay, I have to relent, otherwise he'll catch on to me. So Flash once again finds this weird, but as soon as it has something to do with the crash, like the Flash really is, I'm not gonna call him naive because Barry's very smart, but like he's just like, oh, it has to be related to that crash. Like obviously, like this guy's a hero. Like we know about Oa, Argus can tell him like, oh yeah, we know about Oa, we know about the Guardians and stuff like that. Like, because obviously, like, I want Argus to like play like a part, like kind of like how in Supergirl, like they had like how Supergirl had like that group of people that knew about aliens. I want Argus to be like that, where they already know about the Green Lanterns. They just never met one before. And so, yeah, they like believe they're like, yeah, the crash could have something to do with this. Meanwhile, Cisco and Wells are decoding who or what the lantern is like trying to find, and they say it could take a couple weeks to figure out. So like they're tinkering with the lantern while like from Sinestro is out there with Flash. So Sinestro doesn't know that Wells and what Wells and Cisco are up to, and obviously you can tell who the Green Lantern, who Hal Jordan actually is, based off what I'm doing right now. It has been a while since I've done this, and I have not done this on a tiny camera either. But we'll see how it goes. It might be butchered, but I'll go back over it again. Yeah, I normally use like a full mirror for this, but just to get the point across, so you know who this. What I'm up to when I said that I'm a Hal Jordan. Okay, so let's move on to season 3, episode 8. So I've already went from, as you can see, I'm trying to pace them out because again, I want this to be, the show is called The Flash, so I don't want it to be focused on Green Lantern, despite he is going to be the side character of this season. Well, second main character of this season. But season 3, episode 8 is called Let Those Who Worship Evil's Might. Now, in one random hallway scene, we mimic the scene from Puss in Boots. You remember how in Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, like when it does that pan around the Puss after he defeats the giant, or he's fighting the giant, and Death's in the crowd, but you don't notice Death the first time. Like, no one did, because and it's not just that I didn't, but like no one did, because you're not looking for Death. You're just like watching the scene. But when Death shows up and you notice he was in that crowd, you're like, oh shit. So when you watch it back, you're like, oh shit, Death was watching him. I want something like that to happen. As we do, like, we'll come back to like that hallway, whatever like machine that like will spin around really fast, whatever random MacGuffin. Cisco and Wells will be like, hey, Team Flash, come in here. We want to show y'all something. So they call everybody in there. And, you know, I'm coming in last. So as like, and the machine they're using, it's trying to figure out what the Green Lantern is looking for, like what it's homing in on. And so it's like spinning really fast around the lantern, and we're getting like a pan of like this of like the hallway, the characters, and as it pans around really fast, my eyes are yellow, just for a brief second. Like quickly, you blink and you miss it. But Wells notices my eyes are yellow; they're not green, and he notes that. Wells is getting on to me very much, and the reason why I'm focused on Wells, there's a reason why. Because one, let me not skip ahead, but there's a reason I'm focused on Wells. Now, the camera, I already mentioned that. Now, just for a quick second, Hal is obviously nervous because, like, they're toying with the Green Lantern. Like, he knows, like, if they mess around with it too much, they could expose him. They could realize, like, something's going on. So Hal is like, hey, I don't want to break the lantern. We should stop this right now. Like, whatever reason, Hal finds a way to stop them from, like, messing with the lantern. And, you know, Barry can agree, like, this... Sinestro, obviously you can tell him Sinestro. Sinestro is like convincing Barry, like, hey, don't trust these guys. Like, they don't know what they're doing. This is OA technology. They could ruin it. They can mess up my lantern. They could ruin it, and then my ring doesn't have power. So Barry convinces them to stop. Now, near the end of the episode, Cisco comes across to me playing with my ring, and he notices that my ring is no longer green. It's yellow. And he's like, Cisco's like, hey, I didn't know you had a yellow ring. Or I didn't know you had, he'll say either, I didn't know you had 2 rings. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I do like a trick of the hand, a trick of the light, and I turn my yellow ring green. And he's like, oh, for a second there, it looked yellow. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, also because Cisco knows that yellow is a weakness of Green Lantern. So the way I'll take out Green Lantern in some of the episodes is like some of the enemies, they'll be given like yellow weapons, and it just depowers me. So Green Lantern's not like overpowering any of the villains of the week. They'll all have yellow weapons. Just to even more convince the Flash, like Sinestro is out there and he's trying to kill me or stop me. And again, to nerf Green Lantern, but keep Flash as the main hero. So when Cisco sees me with a yellow ring, he's like, "That's weird. I thought you couldn't use yellow." I'm like, "No, I don't have yellow." Now, he says, now. Oh yeah, that's how I ended that episode. I just ended that episode with like, "Oh no, your eyes are playing tricks on you. Like I don't have a yellow ring because, as I said, like the Green Lantern, well, their weakness is yellow, or it's supposed to be yellow. That's at least that's how it was. We'll keep that continuity, despite how corny that sounds, but we'll keep that continuity. Yeah, it just needs another coat, but it's coming out pretty good, I think. Now, season 3, episode 9 will be the penultimate episode. I'm planning on doing a half season arc before we do. Well, it'll make sense, but like, I think the Flash, it should do like mid-season villains instead of like 24 episodes with the same villain. Do your villains mid-season. Like make one villain 10 or 12 episodes, make another villain 10 or 12 episodes, but it'll make sense when I explain like how I want to end the season. So the penultimate mid-season finale, the episode before the mid-season finale, it's going to be fully revealed, like what's been happening to well, let's get into it. So the penultimate mid-season finale is called Beware My Power. Oh, that's way too much water. Way too much. Cisco and Wells have finally cracked the Lantern's code. It's sending out a signal to a warehouse, and they decide to go on their own. They decide to go on their own adventure and check it out. So this will be. Oh, yeah, that's too much water. Too much. I'm gonna try to spread that out. Now again, I am never used to like a tiny mirror for this. That's probably why, or a tiny thing for this. But they go to a warehouse and they find the real Hal Jordan tied up. Like he's tied up in like some yellow construct or something like that. And they don't know it's the real Hal Jordan. And obviously he's white. Not that that matters, but like again, if you've seen the Static Shock episode where Sinestro became not John Smith. Not John Jones. Why is your name escaping me right now? John Stewart. I don't know why that name was escaping me. Then you get. Okay, yeah, I can't do this on this tiny mirror, so we're just gonna go with it. Yeah, it's not looking perfect, but you kind of get it. And so that's they find the real Hal Jordan tied up and he's beaten and his ring is missing. And that's when I want Wells to be alone. I want Wells to get stabbed from behind by a yellow construct. And a yellow construct blade, it's going to pierce him out through the back, pierce him out his back and through his chest. And I emerge from the shadows, deforming from Hal Jordan Green Lantern into Sinestro. And that's how the episode's gonna end. Before going into the season finale. I'm gonna just try to clean this up while I talk about the season finale. Yeah, this mirror is way too tiny. Okay, so the mid-season finale is called Green Lantern's Light. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, I need another coat or something because it's not. Well, I ain't want to get my goatee and all that, so that's probably why. This is fine. It ain't gotta be perfect. Not today. Not for this video. This is where you're gonna get the full backstory about what happened to the real Hal Jordan. We're gonna see a fight between Hal Jordan and Green Lantern, and Hal Jordan, and it can go on for about 5 minutes. It can be like the opening teaser of the episode, kind of like how like Superman and Doomsday fought in the first 5 to 10 minutes of Superman and Lois season 4, episode 1. Very cool. I want to mimic that, but we're gonna do it way earlier in the Flash with Sinestro. And then eventually he loses the fight with Sinestro after he cuts off Hal Jordan's finger. He can either cut up his finger, and we'll sew it back on later or whatever. But he can cut up his finger. Somehow he gets the ring off Hal Jordan's finger, and he cuts it off. I think cutting it off is better. And he takes Hal Jordan's green ring, puts it on, impersonates him, and then traps Hal in the warehouse and whatnot. And then for some reason he teams up with the Flash. We'll say the MacGuffin is to make a yellow lantern. like whatever Argus was holding Sinestro's Yellow Lantern. We'll say that. And so he infiltrated Team Flash to get into Argus to get his Yellow Lantern. And so Sinestro then impersonated them. You know, I already talked about that. And basically his plan is to destroy LA. It's not destroying Central City. It's not... I mean, I guess we have to make it about Central City. His plan is to destroy Central City. Because if it's anything else outside the Flash, it's probably not going to matter. So his plan is to destroy Central City. But with Team Flash and the real Hal Jordan, he is thwarted before he is thwarted, and it'll be an epic fight between like Flash and Green Lantern teaming up. But Green Lantern will be the one that ultimately takes him down. But before he is killed, before Sinestro, well, they don't kill him, but before Sinestro was taken by the Flash to Argus, he is saved by the Reverse Flash, who shows up and runs away with Sinestro, ending the mid-season finale there. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a part 2 to this. Maybe there can be if you guys like this video. I know it seems like a little bit of a rant. Well, not a rant, but like I'll try to be really creative with how I brought the Green Lantern in. But if I do a part 2, I'll plan it out how Sinestro and Reverse Flash are going to team up. Like Sinestro with like, not a Sinister Six, just these two. Like, so then we can have Hal Jordan, the real Hal Jordan, come in and do some cool stuff. And I'll put on my Sinestro suit. I have a completely different suit for Sinestro. It's not just a yellow version of this. It's a very cool suit. I'll make sure I show that you guys off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I would bring Green Lantern into the Flash. I would have Sinestro imitate Hal Jordan, and obviously he'd be black. It's going to cause controversy until people figure it out. But again, I would drop hints on X or Twitter, well, we call Twitter at the time. So my first hint would be like, oh, I feel like watching Static Shock right now. Then the second thing would be like during a press conference, because I'd mess this up. Okay, so there's a funny TikTok I posted. If you're a nerd, it's funny too. I posted this TikTok where I actually did forget the Green Lantern Oath. Every time I try to say the Green Lantern Oath, I would say, in blackest day and brightest night, no evil shall escape my... No. In blackest day and brightest night, beware your fears made into light. Let those who try to stop what's right burn like my power, Sinestro's might. And I kept saying that. So what I would do during a press conference is like when they ask, like, the fans angry, like, why are you playing Hal Jordan? You should be Jon Stewart. That just makes sense. It wouldn't be better than Hal Jordan. And I would say, in response, in blackest day and brightest night, no evil. In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. And, and the ones who get it would automatically know, like, oh, and it would calm down. Whereas the other ones are confused, like, what's he talking about? What's he talking about? Like, that's, why is he quoting the Green Lantern Oath? But the ones that are nerds and know who Green Lantern is and Sinestro, they would catch on to that. So that's how I would bring Green Lantern into the Flash slash Sinestro. And then, like I said, if you guys want a part 2 to this, just give me like 50 views and I'll do a part 2 fully. I'll come in already caked up as Sinestro. Like, I won't have to like paint it while I'm talking. But I did that so you guys could understand the reveal as I was talking about it. But I'll do that together. And then, I'll talk about how the Reverse Flash and Sinestro team up and they plan to take down Barry and Hal Jordan together. Well, yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I had a little bit of fun with this. It's been a while since I've done this. I have not cosplayed Sinestro in a long time. So anyways, that's all for this. I'll tell you guys next one. Talk later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy,
full moons, fabled lovers, a cursed virgin's bite. If you go where monsters dance, red will reign over your house. Love be damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.